pump. It is about the spiraling within the economy. And let me start here by saying that the hiking of fuel prices that happened yesterday, of course, is unprecedented in terms of quantum. We have never seen that kind of margin increase in fuel prices ever since April started releasing the guidance of prices. And therefore, this is a very important matter to our economy and the running of our economy in all sectors. Just today, we have seen that the transport industry have also reacted to the hike in fuel prices by also passing over that burden to the consumers of the services within the transport industry. That is also likely to also happen in manufacturing. It is likely to happen in every other sector within our economy. And therefore, the bigger question that we need to ask ourselves as Kenyans, between the ripple effect of increasing fuel with the kind of margin that we did yesterday as Kenya, between that effect, that direct effect, and the ripple effect that is there, and on the other side, the amount of money that we could spend in making sure that fuel is affordable, what is a bigger cost to the economy and which is a more prudent thing to do? Is it to let the economy spiral in its negative effects from transport to manufacturing to the forex in terms of dollar demand and to all the other sectors? Is it better to stop that spiraling by spending some little more money on bringing down the prices, or is it unleashing the entire price increment to the consumers? That is what we need to interrogate. And as I said before, it is upon us as leaders to also offer practical, reasonable proposals that Kenya can work on. And just to go direct to the point, number one is joke taken too far by the government. 3% is inadequate. It is not addressing the issue on the table. Secondly, is that the people of Kenya expected the government to also talk about lowering fuel levy. And number three, the subsidy that was provided yesterday through the Fuel Stabilization Fund is overwhelmingly inadequate, and we need to do something about it. So I have three proposals based on what we need to do as Kenyans now, without necessarily waiting. I have kept talking about this issue for the last 1 month because this was not an emergency that happened to Kenya. We have always known from the 28th of February that we'll need to think and do something about the fuel crisis. The fact that we had to postpone offering solutions up to yesterday evening, almost at midnight, just shows how casually the government has been taking this matter. So, as I talk about these three proposals, I request those who are concerned, this is not the time to chest dump and show Kenyans who knows what more than who. It is the time to present credible solutions to the issue that is the Kenyans are grappling with today. The number one proposal that I have, and wholesomely, the practical proposal we have can reduce fuel prices by 27 shillings today without hurting anyone. One is that we need to reduce our VAT by an extra 5% now. And that extra VAT of 5% will mean that our fuel prices will go down by, on that segment alone, by around 8 shillings. The second proposal is that we need to de-gazette the 7 shillings that was added on fuel levy in the year 2024. It was done through a gazette notice by the Minister for Transport. The same way, he needs to give a gazette notice today before the close of today. That will also bring down the fuel prices by an extra 7 shillings. The other thing that we must do is that the Fuel Stabilization Fund has close to 20 billion Kenya shillings as we talk. And this is not money that has been budgeted for. This is money that Kenyans pay in the pump. As you go to fuel your car, it is the Kenyans who have been funding the fuel stabilization fund. And my proposal is that we need to provide an extra 5 billion shillings from the fuel stabilization fund. And with a consumption of around 400 million liters of diesel and petrol per month, it means that will amount to around 12 shillings per liter. Adding those three elements, specifically reducing VAT by an extra 5%, that gives an extra reprieve of around 8 shillings, reducing fuel levy by around 7 shillings, and also offering an additional subsidy of 5 billion shillings from fuel stabilization fund. That also means around 12 shillings per liter. Wholesomely, we can be able to reduce the prices of fuel today by 27 shillings. And what that is likely to do is that we are going to arrest the very many spiraling effects that will happen starting today out of the reckless decision that was made by government yesterday. And Kenyans need to realize this. The proposals I have given, I'm not even requesting the government to do anything. Kenyans are just saying, take back the levies and taxes where you got them. That's what the people of Kenya are saying. The additional 8% VAT was added by this regime in 2023. The additional 7 shillings in fuel levy was added by this regime in the year 2024. The money that is coming from fuel stabilization fund. It is not money that they have generated. It is money that has been contributed by the Kenyan people in the last several months. So what you are asking is simple. Just take the levies and taxes where you got them. And if that happens, Kenyans are not going to pay more in the pump as it happened yesterday. So Kenyans are not requesting the government to do anything. They are just demanding that the government takes the taxation and levies to the level they got them. If they only do that, there is reprieve in the pump as the starting point. Then after doing that, in the medium term, we should now be looking at how to tax exempt the fuel products. We at least take our VAT to zero in the intermediate period, because the issue we are dealing with is not long term. How we saw even during the Russia and Ukraine issue is that this issue doesn't take too long. There is already solutions being floated globally. And therefore, we may push this cost to the Kenyan people, then we end up hurting our economy for the rest of the year.